because when I came home after 8 years, I paroled out to my brother's walk-in closet.
I still got 3 years of parole left.
Hey guys, it's Brandon and Izzy.
What's up?
We are here with From Felon to Fabulous. We've got a short time with our guest today. So you saw him a few weeks ago. We did a reboot of our interview with him that we did 2 years ago with Mr. Arkevius Armstrong. We met him in Atlanta, Georgia. And the trip for us, we weren't really sure how it was going. And Isabel says, hey, I got this guy you need to come meet. He'll be perfect. And sure enough, here we are 2 years later. He's spoken at our events. He's doing his own stuff. So welcome, Arkevius Armstrong.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Back here with my sisters, man. A lot have changed and transpired from that last interview.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all done went from having interviews in hotel rooms and now y'all have y'all own platforms.
We do.
That's right.
And so do you.
Hey, listen.
Coming up.
Yeah, breaking the cycle. We're trying to just transform, change lives, and let people know that it's time to release, let go, grow, and be prosperous. Yeah. Absolutely.
Release.
Let go part. That let go part. Yes.
That's a hard one. It's a hard one.
It is. So we met you in Atlanta at a conference. We weren't even attending your conference. We were attending a graduation for somebody.
Yeah.
And y'all were in the same hotel room. And Izzy actually met you first. She says, we need to do an interview with this guy. And I said, okay, well, who is he? And she told me a little bit about you. And then when we did the interview, I was like, this guy's going places. Yes, he has a past. Yes, he's in the prison. Yes, he's done a lot of time, but he's going places. And God has a plan for you. So Izzy, why don't you kind of share a little bit about that first meeting with him, and then we're going to talk about what he's doing now. You can go back and see what was going on then.
Yes. But so like you said, we were at a graduation next door and we saw there was a lot of hype going on and doing what we're doing now. We were already starting to do that then. So we were like, we need to check them out and see if there's any collaboration here. We went over there and everybody welcomed us. Everyone had such a powerful story. But you, Arkevius, just the energy that you bring, I could feel the authenticity right off the bat. Not that I didn't feel that from other people, but not only did I feel it from you, you chose to act, right? We made a connection and we acted. So without that action, I met a lot of people that day. But we acted on our prompting and we realized immediately, just with a little bit we shared, how much of a connection with Felon to Fabulous, with Becoming the Better You, with Activate Your Power Now, and just our stories, our past of our parents, our leaders being the ones to fail us in life. Recovering from that is a little different. Everything's possible when you put in the work, but there's different types of work that needs to be done when that's the case. And I commend you. I follow you on social media. I suggest anybody listening to this that you follow him as well. He's encouraging every day. He's serving and he's showing up live on his page to show us how he's serving. It's not something he talks about. It's something he does. He breathes and he lives. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because my goal is to help heal humanity. And it requires all of us to link arms and to be a powerful energy, right? A powerful entity. So we can go combat these things that we're facing. Can you tell us a little bit of what's going on right now? Tell us, introduce yourself, tell us where you're at and what you're doing.
Again, first and foremost, again, thank you guys. And I will be remiss not to give you guys credit because from then to now, you guys have not been slowing it down. You guys have been keeping your foot on the gas pedal yourselves. And so, you know, with BTBY, we kept acting on what we built from Atlanta. You know, I've came out to you guys events numerous of times, and the love that you guys have for me and the foundation and the impact that you guys are building actually is around the world. BTBY is building a lot of great things around the world, not just in Kansas City. So again, my name is Arkevius Armstrong, and I am an author, coach. I'm a man who wears many hats, but more importantly, my passion, my purpose, my calling is to transform and transition people's way of thinking and the way they feel, their heart, you know, the past, the traumas, just help them transform their mindset. So, you know, I'm not real big, and I don't know why that's one of the things that, you know, people can give me so many titles and I'm just a servant at the end of the day. I mean, and that could be very well just how humble I am, you know. People can say that you're a great individual. I'm just saying, listen, I'm just doing what God called me to do. And, you know,
but it takes humility to be able to step in that way. So
when you're called to do something, you realize that it's not about you, it's not for you, it's bigger than you. And so, you know, you don't put yourself before the calling. You know, God is in the center of everything. And so, you know, he will humble you. And he will always remind you. And so this is the work that we're doing. Like we was talking about at the beginning of the segment, Breaking the Cycle conference that God gave me. He put in my spirit, you know, the lives that we're impacting here in North Carolina and surrounding cities and states, but Charlotte preferably, where I am heavily involved and embedded in the communities here in Charlotte. And we're dealing with a lot of things like with murders, and we are seeing this on a day-to-day basis. Our young people are being murdered in the streets and taking each other's lives and taking each other freedom. You know, we talk about the prison reinform and reentry. You know, we're trying to not just help our inmates that's already incarcerated to position them into where they can transition from out of prison or from out of jail into an opportunity to thrive physically, financially, and mentally. But we also are positioning and helping shape and mold our people that are free, that isn't already have the opportunity to redirect their way of their actions and their way they thinking, so they don't go behind the walls. And so, but you know, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
And
it is a challenge.
We're talking about the fabulous part, you know, where you're in the fabulous stage now. And guys, it's not about accolades. It's not about all of that. It's about servancy, just like Arkevius said. When you can make that your number one priority, purpose, everything else, meaning, everything that we typically lack, that what makes us go down that wrong path, it awakens, it activates, right? So I remember numerous times telling myself, you know, I may not be able to save myself at times, but I can give back. I always have an opportunity to give back in one way. And by that, I learned that that's how I save myself when my back's against the wall, when I can't think of the next best step. You know, and that's typically when I would make a impulsive decision that would lead me in juvenile detention or other not serving things. So I just wanted to highlight that, you know, the servancy part, and it shows. It really shows, and lives are being impacted.
Absolutely. I know Brenda's about to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that I am proud of you, because, you know, we hear so many stories of people say, I'm going to do this, and then they never do. But you actually are doing it, and you're not about the money part.
Right.
You truly are about the servant part. And you let your faith in God show through. You give him the glory and the credit, which is amazing. But you have a passion for these young men.
Yeah.
talk about that.
Absolutely. Just like today, I was on the phone. You know, we have one segment of the programs we serve, and we serve 19 young men that are in group homes. Then we also have another component where we're from Monday through Thursday. Our programs inside of the Mecklenburg County Detention Center, where we have like 15 young men from ages 18 to 24, and 9 of those 15 are in there for first degree murder. You know, I said earlier when I was on a phone conversation with a gentleman, I'm serving those who were me when I was their age.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And you know,
Yes.
real recognize real, and the impact is not what you do, is how you connect with the people that you're serving. And there has to be a connection. And so when you're looking at the service that we're providing, that I'm providing, I'm so hands-on, is because, you know, if Arkevius Armstrong would have, and I can't help but look at the picture, the only picture that I got of myself when I was 10 years old right here, if I would have had Arkevius Armstrong in my life when I was, you know what I mean, going through the things that I was going through, dealing with the things that I was dealing, trying to overcome, trying to seek and search who I was as a little kid, trying to heal with all the hurt and all the pain that I was dealing with. If I would have just had someone like the Arkevius now to wrap his arms around me, to put me in positions and in environments and expose me to different things, if I would have just had that, where my life would have ended up, what path I would have taken. But most of these young men don't have that. So every day, every week, every month, every year, we're adamant, we're consistent with transforming the lives of our young people. If I mention 9 young men who are incarcerated for first degree murder right now, yes, that's a reality. And that's a reality, and that's something that they have to deal with and lay in the bed that they made by a decision that they make. We all make decisions and we all make mistakes. And so it depends on whatever the circumstances are, you still can learn something in it. That's what we want you to understand. The young man who was in group homes, but we just don't focus on troubled kids. I have 6 kids right now who's graduating high school this year. I can't make it to all the graduations. I got some who's in college, you know, but you know, that's just when you're talking about fabulous, you know what I mean? I always tell people fabulous, the definition means extraordinary. And whatever you do it with the expectations to be extraordinary at it. And so does that mean that it's going to look good? No. Does it mean that it's going to be pretty? No. Does it mean that you're going to be tired? Yes. Does it mean that you feel like quitting sometimes? Absolutely. But when you have something so extraordinary in you that you're going to wake up every single day, regardless of what it looks like, what it feels like, I'm going to do it because it's a calling, it's a purpose, and I was chose to do it. I was chose to do this.
Yes, yes.
And trust me, I tell people all the time, do I want to sit it down every day? Yes, I do. You know, but God said no, because I chose you for times such as these. And so listen, every day I'm going to wake up and choose to be fabulous and extraordinary at everything that I do.
Yes.
Amen.
That's awesome.
That's a big deal.
Yes, it is. Well, hey, we serve a big deal God.
Yes, we do.
He's a big deal. He's a big deal.
Amen.
He is the
Absolutely.
deal. He is the deal. That's the thing behind it. So
absolutely. Yes. And I'm just excited because at this time of what we're facing, and it's not just you know, young people, you know, our conference Breaking the Cycle. That's a lot of things that need to be broken. There's a lot of broken parents trying to raise kids. There's a lot of disconnected families who don't know how to communicate with their kids. There's a lot of cycles that need to be broke. There's a lot of traumas, a lot of pains that stems from the root of the causes, what we're seeing today, not only in the families, not in the communities, but individually. There's a lot of things. And so this conference God gave to me is to shed light, shed opportunity to impact, but more so have resources. So again, that's one of the things I didn't mean to leave out, but I'm very intentional about everything that I do. And I want, if anybody watching this live, I want you to do something for yourself. Everything you do must be intentional.
Yes. Yes.
Everything you do must be intentional. And, you know, one of the biggest issues, and I know you guys may contest to this, it's hard to get people to collaborate, to take your special power and your special power, bring those two special powers together and make a magical impact in one setting, one event up under one roof. And so we're doing that, and we're bringing resources, we're bringing agencies or families who can take advantage of not only an impactful event, but resources that you can leave out of here and can say, listen, I'm getting counseling, I'm getting therapy, I'm getting my daughter, I'm getting my son into this leadership program, I'm getting recovery. You know what I mean? There's going to be resources at this event to where everything that is about breaking a cycle, and you cannot do it. Oh, Jesus, thank you, Lord Jesus. There are some strongholds and cycles that you cannot break by yourself.
Right.
It's impossible. You need help. We need assistance. We need something that is stronger and that's more knowledgeable and that's more powerful than us. And for this Saturday coming, and you know, this is kind of like the mile me. I'm always energized, energetic, and it's just like as we come in to land this plane for this Saturday, I'm just trying to consume as much of this energy as possible. But you guys know putting on conferences, man. Oh my goodness. That's what I love when I get booked to do it. But when it comes to doing them, I'm not a big fan of them.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
But it's worth it.
It's absolutely. So we got big plans. You know, when God give you something, you know it's a big thing. So I feel real confident about breaking the cycle. So we're gonna push this thing to the next level. And like I said, there's so many things that's gonna come from this breaking the cycle theme, title, and form that we're creating.
I love that. And I can't wait to see what comes after this, and following the stories that are going to be testimonies that are going to be shared, I'm sure, on your live. I will be paying attention.
We supposed to become BTBY, supposed to be coming to Charlotte. What's up? What's up, hey, Brenda?
Well, you got to give me some
out there when we got it. What was that, Brenda?
We were going to do a BTBY Charlotte, but we couldn't get the dates to come together. But we're working on it. We're still going to make it there.
Yeah.
We're making it in the city though in September, and you're coming.
Yes. Oh, listen, September. You already know. I told you. You're always out. Anytime you're out, I always say, I got you. Right. I got you.
And you do.
You already know how I'm coming. You know how I'm coming.
Absolutely. The other thing too is people don't realize there's so much that goes into a conference, even if they're free. There's so much that goes into a conference and the expense that's involved that you may or may not get back. But when you don't make it about that and you make it about the people that you are investing in, that's why we do it, because we want to make a difference. Just like from Felon to Fabulous, we are now showing the fabulous part of people because the felon part's over.
Mm-hmm.
You did the crime, you did the time, that cliche, whatever it is, but you've moved on from it. Can you give some advice on what it took for you to move on from it, to actually let it go?
I wanted to heal. It's so essential and so important for us to heal. You can't heal picking at the scab. You can't heal constantly looking at the wounds. You can't heal constantly reminiscing and always thinking back of what should have, what could have. You got to want to heal and move on. And so when you look at it, yes, you see a person who has went through the whole judicial system, from foster homes, group home, detention centers, training school, state prison, federal prison, abuse, sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, all the hurt, all the pain, all the trauma, all the agony, all the resentment, everything. A broken boy. I was a broken boy. I was a man. I was still a broken boy as a man. And there's all those things that I held on to, all of those things I lived every single day in my past. It was impossible for me to move forward, look forward, go forward when I constantly looked into my rearview mirror, and I always kept the car in reverse. And I just had to realize, in order for me to go forward, in order for me to get to the destination, I gotta let go and heal. And so forgiveness is the most important piece to becoming fabulous. If we want to talk about the F word, let's scratch fabulous. Let's talk about forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It's no way you can be fabulous holding on to things and people and situations and circumstances that's truthfully behind you. It has already served its purpose, right? It had already done its damage. It's back there. And so you want to forgive. It's time for you to move forward. And that's how I was able to be who I am today and be the effective, let me use that word, effective individual, speaker, leader, mentor, father, husband that I am now, because I understand the power in forgiveness. I'm fabulous because I forgave.
Right.
I forgave people. I forgave circumstances and situations. And most importantly, I forgave myself.
Yes.
I forgave myself.
You just said it, most importantly, because when we don't forgive ourselves, we stay there.
Ooh, come on.
We stay there.
You know, and there's a thing, you know, as animals for some reason, and I'm sure, and I don't know what they do it, but when you hold on to things and you don't forgive, it's almost like you're vomiting and eating your own vomit.
No, true.
You know what I'm saying? You're regurgitating everything and you're reciprocating everything. It's almost like you're just doing the same thing over and over, and it's so painful. It's so disheartening to try to live a life what you wish, what you want, what you desire to have, but you can't, because everything you live, everything you do, it consists of talking about the past, living in the past, thinking about the past, revisiting the past. And then that's such energy draining when you're constantly living a life like that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. What do your future? You go nowhere. What do your future look like now? What do you want now? Where you want to go now? What do you desire to have now?
Yes.
And you cannot say I want to be something when you're still here. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way.
It does not work that way.
And you know, people will practice that living life that way, but what they'll find is that they have the same complaints over and over, different jobs, different situation, but their grievances in life repeat themselves, right? Yeah. And how do we know when we're not forgiving ourselves or forgiving others? Typically, life is showing us that same thing. We feel unforgiven in life by other people, by places, by jobs, you know. So pay attention, guys. Like Archivia said, intentionality, doing life on purpose, which is what I've dedicated myself to. On purpose, with purpose, which has turned to divine purpose, because now it's about servancy, right? And not what I vision, but intentionality. You talked about connection and forgiveness. And I think whoever's been listening to this, write those down and reach out. We'd love to connect. We'd love to go deeper if you need some guidance. And I also want to say that we're all always fabulous, guys. Just because your fabulous hasn't been activated, it doesn't mean it's something outside of you that you have to go chase. It's that pause and that breath when you can learn to be still, right? And you can breathe through life and learn that trust, but that comes with the forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to see true transformation happen in our life. And so we're all fabulous. It's just about activating that fabulous part. So I hope they reach out if they feel like they're ready to take that next step.
Absolutely.
The other thing that you did that I absolutely loved when we were in St. Louis, you wore all these T-shirts that had words on it. Talk about that and why you chose that.
You know, for some reason now I became the guy, the speaker that has props. Okay, you see my sis, me versus me. You know, I love that. And so, absolutely. And so, what Brenda was talking about, you know, and it was so profound. Is that God led me to speak about all of the things that we're walking around here, toting, we're carrying, we're lugging, and we are trying to be our true, we're trying to be our true self to everyone. We not the word our true self to everyone. We're trying to be everything to everybody, and and everything that you're missing and everything that you're avoiding is what you need to be true for and true with is yourself. And the true you, knowing the things that you're struggling with, right? Like, you know, the things that you're battling with, like, you know, the things that you're just constantly in fight with, and you're putting the makeup on, and you putting a nice hat on, you putting the nice clothes on, and the nice attire, and in true reality, inside you're still broken, inside you're still torn, inside you're still empty. You know, and I met my brother Terrence in Miami, and I did a mirror segment, and my message was, you know, let's fix the man in the mirror, let's fix the person in the mirror. And if you know anything about me, like my sister sure say, it's me versus me. I'm intentional about fixing you. You have to be fixed. You have to be complete before you can do anything, whatever God has called you, whatever you desire to be. You have to be right from within. Mm-hmm. The real fight is not outside, external. The real fight is internal.
Exactly.
That's the fight.
I love your shirts that say me.
Look in the mirror. That's your competition. Mm-hmm. And, you know, one of the things I want to say, too, is that in order to be fabulous, you're going to have to go through the process to be fabulous. And I couldn't help but realize is that when they find a diamond, the diamond is up under so much pressure, so much dirt, so much rock, so much debris, and they find it because they know it's something special. God has chose us, you, the one who's watching this, for times like these. It's time for you to birth that ministry. It's time for you to birth that book. It's time for you to birth whatever ministry God has put inside of you. But you must realize that you're going to have to go through the process. And in order to go through some processes to realize what you have inside of you, you're going to have to deal with some pressure. And see, most people may see the platforms that we're on and cannot wait to be in a position like that. But are you willing to go through what people have to deal with to have these opportunities? Like, we all have fabulous and extraordinary opportunities to do some great things. God has called us all to do some great things. Yeah. But can you survive the test of the pressure? Right. Because again, all three of us have a story. All three of us have some things that we can testify on. And all three of us can tell some things that we survived from. That's how we're able to be in the situations that we have and in places that we're in right now, because we survived them. You can say you're fabulous now, but there was a time and place where we couldn't say that. We can say how powerful we are and how we want to change lives, but there was a time and place where we felt like, you know what, we just one decision away. We just want to take it all away.
Right, exactly.
And we're talking to those who are in those positions or in those situations. We want to see you on this side of the fence. We want to see you on this side of the track. And if you can look at the lifestyle that we all come from and where we are now, that should give every last one of you hope that, you know, it's hope, it's possibilities, that this can be a lifestyle that I can have too. If I'm watching this woman do it and I'm watching that man do it, oh, I can do it too.
Exactly. And, you know, at Activate Your Power now, we call it a power path process, a day-to-day practice that you're willing to commit to get you where you want to, where you say you want, where you have declared you want to go in life.
Yeah.
And but it requires, again, intentionality, that doing it on purpose, you know. But this was great information.
Yeah.
And I know your event's going to be just wonderful on Saturday. So,
man. Oh, man.
Yeah,
we'll be sending lots of prayers.
We'll be sending prayers your way that everything goes fantastic. And we know you got to go because you've got another thing coming right up. So
I see it on the other thing down there telling me. But listen, I love you guys. Thank you.
Let's keep on going.
Yes, ma'am. I see y'all August or September?
It's September.
September the 11th through the 13th.
13th through the 15th.
Okay. I know. Listen, Brenda gonna make sure I got it right. I love you guys.
All right, love you too. Have a good day.
All right, bye.
What a fantastic story 2 years later.
Yeah, exactly. You guys, if you're in the Kansas City area, come to the conference in September, because he brings truth, and he brings always something very, it keeps you engaged, and he gives you tools, real life tools, and gets your brain going on what you can do differently to be fabulous, you know.
That's right. And your past it can stop you if you let it. But when you learn from it and use it as a stepping stone to get to the next level, you got to let it go, and you got to leave it in the past. And once you do that, look at all the doors that can open. Archivius is just a perfect example of that. And so are you, Isabel. You could sit around and make all kinds of excuses as why not to.
Exactly.
But you've made a choice too.
Right. Well, what really helped that mind shift for me was gratitude. You know, we can't speak enough about gratitude. We have quite a few speakers on both our platforms that speak gratitude, and a lot of the messages they bring, because it's just the truth. You know, when you could be willing to be grateful through anything in life that you endure, and see where you can learn and go deeper. And like Archivia spoke about, that extreme accountability. Like, even though there was a lot of misleading, a lot of abuse, you know, there was neglect, there was a lot at a young age. It gets to a certain point in your life, like you said, if you want change, you have to be willing to go through those growing pains and extreme accountability. Yes, people did me wrong, but what am I going to do about it? How am I going to handle it now moving forward? Forgiveness, just like he spoke about.
Right.
That true, authentic forgiveness. You know, it doesn't mean that you place them back in your safe circle again. You know, you keep them at a healthy distance for both of you. But that doesn't mean, forgiveness doesn't mean letting them come abuse you again and be naive. It's just truly releasing anything negative that's not of love, that's not of light, that's not of healing. You have to let it go and wish them well. That's how you know if you really have forgive them. Can you wish them well? Because we all deserve to heal, and we're all fabulous again, and we all deserve for that fabulous to be activated within us.
Oh, yes. So one of our viewers is telling us that we have orbs floating around. He says to please address the orbs. I don't see any.
I've been seeing those messages too, and I'm assuming he's talking to you, because I have the background. I don't see them either, but that's lovely. I mean, it's angels. It's right. They're all around us all the time. And when you're in alignment with your purpose, they're just going to be right there celebrating with you anyway. So,
as should everybody. And the ones who aren't celebrating with you, bye.
Bye. Right. Stay in your healthy distance. We love you.
That's right.
Over there.
Well, it was a great short show. We're going to play a couple commercials. Stay tuned. Next week we have a gal who works for the Kansas prisons, and she gives the babies to when they're born in prison. She places them in foster care. Yeah. I just can't imagine having that job and what the mother goes through, even the family, because it doesn't, just because you have a child doesn't mean that it's also going to go to family members. And sometimes family members isn't the best place. So it's going to be a great show. So stay tuned.
We'll be live together.
That's right.
So that's always fun when we get to talk with the people live. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and remember to stay fabulous.
Help Elevate and Learn is a personal discovery guide to healing your inner child. This book has been years in the making, and Saucony recently realized that introducing you to yourself would not be complete without the introduction to your inner child. So many of us have been fighting our inner child, pacifying our inner child, or even worse, ignoring our inner child. Saucony wants to walk you through the process of making peace with your inner child to help you develop into a person who can thrive in any environment, and then teach others to do the same. Pre-order Heal, and get the audiobook version free.
Or do you want to be the person that's helpful, that soothes, that loves? Because you can still stand tall and be as big as you want to be when you are this person.